Hey GED students and all my other students as well. Ronald had a question about dividing by a decimal. And usually this is the third lecture I'll give when I talk about dividing with decimals, because this is the most challenging part. But we're going to just do an example problem real quick here on the fly. So this will make a good reminder video, but if you've never learned dividing with decimals before, I'm going to jump a little bit, so this might not be the best video for you, but if you just need to jog your memory, because this comes up on the GED test quite a bit in the first 5 problems where you get no calculator, then let's go ahead and work this problem. Okay, first thing, when I'm working division by hand, if this isn't a division fact that I have memorized, I am going to use a long division house. So instead of doing 105 divided by 0.05, I'm going to flip my order here. And I'm going to do 0.05 because dividing into has the opposite order as dividing by into 105. Now, what you need to watch out for is this number right here. When you're dividing by a decimal, it is tricky to do. I mean, I suppose you could do it, but what a challenge to try to figure out how many times 0.05 goes into 105. Think about how many nickels there are in $105. If you wanted to make a $105 out of nickels alone, it would be a lot of nickels. And so when this number here is a decimal, what we will have you do is we will have you hop the decimal to the back of this number. So instead of it being a 0.05, we're going to call it 5. But we got to talk about this because a lot of your third grade teachers teach you this and they don't teach you why it works. We really got to talk about this. Here's the deal. You can't just turn 5 cents into $5. You know that's true in real life, and it's true in math class too. You can't just go, oh, look, 0.05 is the same as 5. That's simply impossible. I dare you to stare at a nickel real hard until it turns into $5. Let me know when it works out for you, okay? It's not going to work out for you. So same thing here. I can't just go around changing a number because I feel like it. Anytime I make a change in math class, I have to make sure that I balance that change out. And how you'll balance it is whatever change you made to the decimal place in the number you're dividing by, you are also going to make into the number that you were dividing. So we were dividing 105 by 5 hundredths. That's how you say this number, by the way. Most students will say 0.05, but I actually read this as 5 hundredths. Okay, and so since I moved that decimal 2 times to the right here, I'm going to also need to move the decimal 2 times to the right here. Now you might be saying, Kate, this number has no decimal, but think about it. If it was $105, 105 whole things, where would the decimal be? Right here at the tail. And as I tease my students, if you had a tail, you'd hide it too. So the hidden decimal is always located at the back of the number. Don't be the foolish student who tries to put it at the front. Okay, and now since we need to keep our balance and this decimal place moved 2 places to the right, we're going to do the exact same move with this number so that they stay in proportion. As long as the decimal moves by the same number of places, these 2 numbers will stay in proportion. And so this won't be 105 anymore. Since I moved that decimal 2 places to the right, I'm going to fill in blanks with zeros. And the new problem is 5 into 10,500. Okay, now that I moved the decimal 2 places to the right in both of these, I moved the same number of times in the same direction. Now I can go ahead and divide. So let's do that together. 5 doesn't go into 1, but it sure does go into 10 2 times. And I'm too lazy. Y'all can watch my sight division video if this surprises you, but I'm too lazy to go down when it goes in perfectly. So 5 goes into 5 once perfectly. 5 goes into 0 times perfectly. And 5 goes into 0 times perfectly. And I get my answer. My answer here is 2100. I sure do hope that video makes sense. I am one tired girl. I've been in trainings all day today, but hopefully you understood that. If you have any questions, be sure to drop them in the comments. Once again, if dividing decimals is new with you, I suggest you go through and see full-length videos on how to do all the different types of decimal division. But this is the type you will most likely see on the GED. GED style. All right. Drop your comments. Oh my goodness. Drop your questions in the comments.